Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Um, at the time of recording this, I've yet to rewatch Civil War. I still need to do that. I'm going to do that when I get home from the movies today. But I'm glad I rewatched this show. Let me explain why I'm glad I rewatched this show. So back when this show came out, I had a different channel, and I was reviewing all the Marvel content. I was just so burnt out. But one of the things I was really enjoying from Marvel at the time was WandaVision. I think everybody was, because we were all stuck at home in quarantine, and it was a big show, and we were talking about it every week. Everybody was talking about that show, had their own theories. Everyone was curious about what's happening next, including myself. And so immediately when that show wrapped up, we had Falcon and the Winter Soldier come out. And I was just ready for another Marvel show. Let's go. But I think I went into this show with a really negative attitude. First of all, I wanted another WandaVision. And this show is not WandaVision. It's not that kind of show. But I wanted something that was really going to hook me and engage me week to week in a similar way. And this show did not do that, nor was it trying to or built to do that. So that was my bad. And that's why a lot of times now with shows and movies, I come from a mentality of you come in to the show or movie from a place of let that movie or show take me where it's going. Movies, art is not made for you in the sense of art is not made to like appease you or make you feel a certain way. Art is going to do what it wants, and you're either there for it or you're not. So art isn't what you want it to be, it is what it is. And so flaws and all, I try to go in with that perspective. So when it came to watching this show, I had that negative attitude for one. The other negative attitude I had is I really couldn't understand why they gave Falcon the shield. And I was really mad it wasn't Bucky. Because at this point in the Captain America franchise and everything built with those characters, Falcon really didn't have a character. His most famous scene was, I guess, when the opening of Civil War, which is just him running with Steve or whatever, or his scene in Ant-Man where Ant-Man fought him. And he lost to Ant-Man, so, he wasn't really a great character at this point. He was kind of shitty. And so for me, I was like, why are you giving this guy the shield? And so I was just, not into this show from the very beginning. Then when this Steelbook came out, of course I had to have it because I got to have all the MCU stuff. I immediately bought it and I rewatched the show. And I was really impressed by the show. And I think even rewatching it again, I was even more impressed by the show. This show really is awesome. It is not perfect, definitely. From what I understand, there was a virus subplot in this show that got trimmed out because of COVID and some other things. There's some stuff that got kind of chopped around, and you gotta feel that at certain points in the show. But the core of this show is Bucky and Falcon's relationship, and that's good enough for me. And I think they do that really well. I mean, you see my biggest thing is why is Bucky not Captain America? And I think you really enjoy that stuff here and see why he's not Captain America, because you have to think about it. Captain America is a symbol of our country and its values. And would our country accept a super soldier violent criminal who actually has killed people in the past? Yes, it was brainwashing, but could that still happen again? Sort of thing. He's been redeemed in Steve's eyes and some of these other people's eyes, but at the end of the day, he's not even been redeemed to himself, and he's going through therapy and a lot of that stuff. And a lot of those character moments and lines of dialogue, that great moment where Falcon gives up the shield because he doesn't feel like he deserves it, which you see at the end of Endgame. Bucky tells him that's the last connection I have to Steve, and maybe if you think I didn't deserve it, he thinks I didn't deserve it. If you, then maybe I wasn't, maybe I'm not worthy, and some things like that. So lines that like that are really powerful, add a lot to that character. Actually, I think Winter Soldier has better work than Falcon, but Falcon still has a great dynamic. You see kind of his, some of his family life, some of his other struggles, and his struggles with the identity of being a black Captain America, and would this country accept that? And honestly, right now, that is a question you'd have to ask, especially on our society, even back when the show came out a few years ago, but especially right now. So, I think this show raised a lot of questions and interesting ideas, and I thought it was really well done overall. I think that this is a really good show that really, rewatching this made me more excited for Captain America. I'm still skeptical of that movie, but I do think that this movie, or this show, I definitely think watching this show, though, I do really feel like, why wasn't this just a movie? Like, we could have called it Captain America Origins or something like that, and it cover all these same bases and be a really entertaining movie. But instead, they kind of stretched it out over 8 episodes. Didn't feel necessary. Certain storylines maybe need a little bit fleshing out. I don't really like what they do with U.S. Agent. He started off really cool and really interesting, but the way that whole storyline kind of went down and kind of disappeared by a certain point in the show. Zemo coming back, I never really liked that character as a villain in Civil War, but the way they use him in the show was kind of fun and entertaining. So I do really like this show. I think it honestly adds a lot to the Marvel Universe. If you are a Marvel fan and have not checked this show out, because I know some people have been kind of sketchy with some of the Disney Plus shows, it's good. And I think it is a show that adds a lot to these characters. Characters I was not really a big fan of. I didn't love Bucky. I liked him fine enough because I was a fan of Civil War. Or not Civil War, Winter Soldier. And Falcon I was never a fan of. But they made me fans. Not gigantic fans, but fans enough to really kind of want to see what's going to happen next with these characters.